Should be queen takes b3. And when the rook takes back on b3, then knight d4. Okay, wow. That was terrible. Like, how did I miss this one move attack on the rook for so long? It's the most obvious move. Mensch. That was terrible. Depressing chess move. Queen e2. I feel like this is enabling me to play knight d4. Okay, that was an easy 2100 puzzle. Alright, later Yusuf, thanks for tuning in. Alright, this one's almost 2300. But I have a feeling it's simple, like rook takes g3, and after any capture I have a checkmate. That's not the strongest move. Oh man. Could be rook takes f2. Could also be queen takes f1. Actually, queen takes f1 looks much stronger. Okay, so I was a little hasty. Alright, now I have to be careful to do the mate in 2, so I don't get checked. Okay, that was that. Finally, an easy one that I still got wrong. Rook a3 is almost like a checkmate, but black's the one doing a checkmate. Rook a3 runs into queen d1. So next I would consider queen a7, king a7, rook a3, king b7, bishop a6, king a8, bishop c8. That's checkmate. Swiftly. There's the mate. Cool. Simple. Okay, this is a 2100 puzzle. It's probably like knight b7. Just open up the king. For example, it could be knight b7, king b7, bishop a6, king a6, queen c6, knight b6, and pawn takes b6. I think that's correct. Alright, now to be precise, I think it has to be queen b3, but queen b4 also looks reasonable. I think queen b3 so that the rook on d5 is hanging. Well, actually, either way, it's not hanging, so it's probably queen c6, just to get on b7 economically. Alright, now here it's queen d5. Okay, good. It's done. 1945 is this puzzle. Okay, this is probably a queen g6, pawn g6 kind of thing. Where after rook h3 they have no recourse. I am concerned though, because there's this knight in the way. Like queen g6, pawn g6, rook h3, they could play like f4. In which case it's not going to be a mate. But I'm determined to make this work. So queen g6, pawn g6, what could I play here? Anyone in the chat, feel free to suggest moves. I'm considering queen g6 right now. I'm still not sure if it wins or not. Okay, I think I know the answer. I think it's queen g6, pawn g6, and knight f4. In order to block the light square bishop from controlling h3. That was cool. I've never solved a puzzle like that. Okay, this one's rating is 1997. That was a good year. This looks like it's something with bishop g3, knight g3, queen e3, knight e2, and queen e2 is mate. So it is bishop g3. Okay, that's the mate. Okay, my rating just crossed 2300, so that's nice. Not that it means anything, but it's a sign of tactics to come. This one looks like it could be bishop a2. Bishop a2, if they play king a1, then knight c2 is mate. Bishop a2, king c1 is the challenge. But then that allows knight takes e2, so that should win. Better than capturing back a minor piece. Alright, now here, is there a mate? That's my only question. Because I can take the queen, and that's great, but yeah, there's no mate. I'm just going to take this. Taking queens is good. Okay, this one's 2270. I don't think I got any rating points from that last puzzle. Well, that's okay. It's not about the rating points. So for this one, I'm thinking knight d3, then they have king b1. So I wonder if I could seal off king b1. Alright, I see how. Rook a1, bishop takes a1, knight d3, king b1, and knight a3 is mate. But it's important to throw this in first, to clear the a3 square. I had a dream about a checkmate like this like last night. But in my dream, both of the knights were hanging. It was kind of weird. Okay, this one's 2206. I'm sure that will be a good year. It could be something with rook h8. Oh wait, this one's black to play. So they're trying rook h8. That would be a checkmate. And we need to stop it. I always get disoriented when I look at the board like this. It's probably queen g2. I'm sorry, queen b7. King takes b7. Pawn takes a2 check. King to, I guess c7 is forced. But then after a1 queen, they have rook h8 checkmate. So how can we stop this mate? Anyone who sees the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat. I was thinking queen g2, but it's probably something else. Either way, whatever the first move is, it prevents rook h8 checkmate. So my candidate moves would be like queen g1, queen a8, and queen b7. Oh, I have a rook left, so I understand what the answer is now. After queen b7, pawn takes check. If they play king to c7, rook c8 force trades the rooks, and then a1 queen gets back the material. That's pretty cool. I think I've seen that puzzle before. Okay, this one is 2152. I hope I live to see the year 2152. That'd be great. I mean, maybe. We'll see. Or will we? I feel like it could be something involving c6, but it's guarded 3 times. The knight's hanging on h5. Probably it's knight f7, which is an interference. If they play like knight g7, then knight d6 wins material. Alright, so they chose to not lose their queen. and we win the knight. Easy. I wonder how high I can get my ChessBase Tactics rating. It doesn't matter, but I'm just kind of wondering what the threshold is, like what the upper bounds could be. Because these 2300 puzzles are not really that difficult. Okay, this is white to play. And probably I'm playing for a repetition. Because there are issues, like my bishop's hanging, and if I move the bishop, they could play knight e3 check. I don't think it's easy to deal with. But I do have a lot of attack on their king. For instance, in this position, if I could play bishop b5, it would be winning. Because after queen takes b5, I would have queen d8 checkmate. So probably it's something like rook c6. But such moves are difficult because after rook c6, they could even ignore it. They could play rook g5, rook takes b6, and then knight e3 check. So rook c6 is out. It could be bishop c6, it could be queen a4. Queen a4 seems a little bit illogical though. It could be rook c8. Probably it's something like rook c8. So I'll check that first. Rook c8, bishop takes c8. And here I would have queen a4 or bishop c6. If I play queen a4, they could play bishop d7. So that seems wrong. So it's probably bishop c6. And if they play queen c6, then queen d8 is checkmate. So after bishop c6, they would have to play king f8. But then I could play queen d6 check, king g7, bishop f6 check, king h7, and bishop e4 check. Alright, that looks very promising, so I'm going to try it. Alright, I guess the move. I guess the move again. Wait. It looks like they're probably losing now after queen d7. I think it has to be queen d7. Now here, it could be any number of moves, so I have to think about it a little seriously. Could be queen d6. It could be bishop e7. Well, both queen d6 and bishop e7 force king g7, and then I could play bishop takes g2, in which case I would have two bishops against two rooks, but their king's under attack. But I would also be trading queens if the queen is on d6. So probably I would just keep attacking them, like queen d6, king g7, bishop f6, king h7, bishop e4. And if they play rook g6, I could take that and then take on g2. And then I'm not really down material anymore. So I think this is correct. Oh, it says it wasn't, so it must be bishop e7. No? Could be queen c8. Oh, I think I see the reason for queen c8. I was thinking queen c8, king g7, bishop f6, king h7, bishop e4. And in that position, they couldn't play rook g6 because of queen h8 checkmate. But it was apparently none of the above. Queen e8 first to take on f7. Okay, so that's also wrong because they could play king g6. All right, I don't know how to play chess. Need a reminder. Queen to e7 is suggested by no one. That makes a lot of sense. So it's like queen e8, but probably better. Queen f6, king f8, queen e7 is a repetition. Queen f6, king h7, queen h6 is a mate. Bishop f6, king g6, bishop e4. That doesn't look that convincing. I think it's queen f6. Alright, got it. Cool. Thanks for the suggestion from no one. Queen e7. Alright, this one's 23-18. It's probably some square clearance like rook takes f4, because our queen's hanging, but their king is very weak. So it could be something like rook takes f4, rook takes e7, rook takes f1, king g2, and rook g1 checkmate. After rook takes f4, g takes f4, there's queen e4 check. So I think this is just correct. If they play rook takes e4, there's bishop f3 mate. So that one's pretty easy. This one I want to play knight f6 and then queen h7 mate, but there's a bishop in the way. They're threatening pawn takes f1 queen. So this 2361 rated puzzle is not obvious to me yet. It could be something with knight f6 involving how the queen is hanging. It could also be that I will replace the knight on f6 with a pawn and then checkmate on g7. For example, knight f6, bishop takes f6, queen g3 check, king h7. I could play pawn takes f6, threatening queen g7 mate, but I could also play rook takes f6, threatening the same. But then they would have rook g8, and rook f7. I think it's knight f6. Okay, that was apparently not the strongest move. That still looks like a good position. Maybe it's queen g3 right away. I should have at least considered this before I played knight f6, but my conclusion was that knight f6 is winning. Maybe I should check that out afterwards, if possible. I think it's queen g3, and if they play pawn takes f1 queen, king takes f1. I don't think there's any way of guarding the square. Oh, they made a rook. Clever boots. Alright, so going back, I think that knight f6 is also winning. This looks good, but then it says queen d1 is winning for black. King takes g2, queen takes c2 check. Oh, and then they can guard the king side. Okay, it makes sense to me now. So I misevaluated my first line. Okay, this one's 2200 on the mark. I'm threatening to get a queen. Rook c3 looks interesting. But after king c3, I don't think it's that clear. I wanted to play rook c3 and then rook f3, and then get the queen. Maybe it's like bishop a4, and then king takes a4. Nah, that seems unlikely. It could be something where I lure the queen onto f1 by just promoting. Like f1 queen, queen takes f1, and somehow I force the king and the queen onto the light squares and play bishop b5. Anyone with an idea, feel free to drop it in the chat. I wonder if there's some reason they can't play queen takes f2 after rook c1. I guess I need to be more systematic and just rule some things out. So let's rule out f1. f1 queen, queen takes f1. Could be rook b2, rook c3, bishop a5, rook c1, something. Rook f2. None of those moves look winning. So I say f1 is out. The next move would be bishop a4. So bishop a4, king takes a4. I would have rook a2 or rook c4. I don't see why those rook moves are helpful for the cost of a bishop. Okay, it could be e3. But then they just have king takes c2. And after e2, queen takes f2. Not good. Rook c3, king takes c3 seems to be out. Yeah, I don't see why that would work. It could just be like rook d2 or rook e2 as well. But after rook e2, king b4, I don't see why it's winning. Maybe it's just bishop b5. Just get the queen, like whatever it takes. So bishop b5, king takes c2, f1 queen, looks good. They play queen h8, I play king a7. I don't think they have anything. It could just be bishop b5. And after bishop b5, if they play like queen f8, king a7, there should be nothing there. Alright, now the only thing I have to look out for here is a perpetual. So I have either king b7 or king a7. I think king b7 is probably better, but it allows queen d5. King b7, queen d5, bishop c6, a6 looks a little bit. Actually, that's probably fine. Be a6, king takes a6. Queen takes e4, f1 queen, looks good. Alright, cool. Everything played out according to plan. So no one are. Have you already followed and joined our Discord? I'm gonna just drop a link so you can meet the rest of the community, if it would behoove you to. All right, this one's 2259. Maybe I should open my Discord and see how things are going there. Okay, back to the tactic. Alright, so this is pin on the bishop. Their king's a little open. There could be some bishop c5 stuff. They have a rook that's hanging on a1. There could be some rook takes f1 type things. Could be like knight e7, just attacking the rook. One interesting tidbit is that after knight e7, if they play like rook d4, then bishop c5 would win the rook. What do I do on Discord? I'm not sure how to interpret that question, but if you're not familiar with Discord, it's kind of like Skype for gamers, which means it's just a better version of Skype. And there are some forums in it. So people in my Discord generally they share chess resources, they discuss tactics, they talk about things like the World Cup that ended recently. Um, there's a local group for people who live in New Jersey. There's things like that. So if you're possibly interested in just meeting other people who play chess, join the Discord. There's a lot of friendly people already in it. This could be just knight e7. But I'm wondering, after knight e7, what if they play like rook d3? I want to do something where I lure the queen away and then play rook takes f1 checkmate somehow. If I could just make them move their king with a check and then deflect the queen. Could be something like bishop takes b4. That could accomplish a similar goal. Like bishop takes b4, rook takes d7, rook takes f1, but then they have queen takes f1. So it doesn't quite work. It could be knight e5. That could be part of the recipe. Knight e5 and knight takes c4. Knight e5 feels right, but I need to back it up with calculation. So knight e5, they might play, for example, queen f2 and then knight takes c4. The rook is safe, and I took a free pawn. That looks good. Knight e5, they could also play queen h3, trying to deflect the queen from protecting d6. But then knight takes c4 would also guard the bishop, so I think that's probably not right. Knight e5. They could play queen takes f4. That looks very dangerous, though. Knight g4 looks winning after that. Oh no, then they could play rook takes d6. So knight e5, queen takes f4 looks challenging. But after knight e5, queen takes f4, there's rook f8. Some checkmate coming up, maybe. Alright, now for the simple thing. After knight e5, they can maybe just play queen to c3. In which case I would play, I don't know, f3? Maybe not f3. So no one is saying knight e5, the rook is there. But after knight e5, rook takes e5, what's the big deal? I'll just take it back. I'm not convinced that knight e5 is better, so I think I should just look for something else. It looks like just kind of normal after queen c3. Could be rook e3. Maybe rook e8 to e3. If they play bishop takes e3, then there's rook takes a1. But then bishop c5 looks like it's winning material. No, then knight bishop takes c5. But they could play bishop takes f4 as well. This is a really tough one for me. Okay, maybe it's something like rook takes c1. I haven't considered that yet. Like rook takes c1, rook takes c1, and then fill in the blank. That rook on a1 is hanging. That's one of the main ideas I haven't given a lot of attention to. Their king is also weak. I still haven't fully addressed that. So I think that knight e5, if I just played it, it's kind of a cop-out from doing the work. So it's not knight e5, I think. I think it's not rook e3 either. It's probably something simple like the other one that I got wrong earlier. It could just be queen e7, threatening rook takes f1 or something like that. It could be knight d4 as well. I think it's knight d4. It all makes sense now, because earlier I was saying if the rook goes on d4, I have bishop c5. But that I was checking it in the wrong position. Okay, that was a relief. I'm glad I got that. Okay, this one, it could be like d3, hitting b2. Could be something like queen b2, some combination of these things. For example, I could play d3. If they play knight c3, then just rook takes c3. d3, c3. I could play, again, rook takes c3, I guess. Maybe just bishop takes c3. That would only win a... Actually, that doesn't even win a pawn, so I guess I should take a little more time with this. d3, they have c3. And then if I play bishop takes c3, they have knight takes c3, rook takes c3, and then rook takes d3. And I didn't win any material or checkmate. Alright, so now I need a firm conclusion. Is d3 correct or no? It has to be part of the sequence, but it might not be the first move. Could be rook takes c2, with the idea of playing d3 with a check. So it could be rook takes c3, king takes c3, d3, queen takes d3, queen takes b2, checkmate, or king takes d3. Queen, actually, what would it be? All right, I think d3 is out. c3 looks fine, so it's on to the rook takes c2. Rook takes c2, king takes c2, d3, king takes d3, queen d4, king e2. Looks like it's running out. Maybe d3 is actually correct, and it's just I have to insert the move rook takes e4 or something. But I don't want to go back after I closed the case on d3. All right, maybe it's rook takes c2, king takes c2, d3, king takes d3, rook d8, king e2, queen takes b2, king f1, and then queen b5, something like that. After queen takes b2 in that variation, they have rook d2. That seems like the end. So I think it's not rook takes c2. It's probably d3. But here it's important to choose wisely. Like rook takes e4, queen takes e4, bishop takes c3 threatens mate. And they don't have a way of guarding it. So I think it's rook e4. Okay, I'm not happy with how I solved this puzzle because I closed out d3 because I checked the line where I take on c3 with either piece, and at the end they take back on d3 with their rook. And I said, okay, that's over. And then I ended up coming back to this line when I noticed rook takes e4. So I closed the case prematurely. That's bad calculation. All right, this one's 1924. It says I've seen this puzzle before. That's funny. I think this is the first time I've seen the same puzzle twice. This looks like it's bishop takes g6. Because after fg6 there's queen e6. And after hg6 there's queen h8. But it says I've never seen this position before. It's weird. Alright, well it's a checkmate, so no time to worry about it. Okay, so this one's 2307. They played bishop e4. It's probably rook c3, because after queen c3 I just play knight e2. Is there any catch, though? Well, after rook c3 they could block, or they could play queen f2. If they block, it's pinning their pieces, so probably that's not correct. But what about rook c3 and then something else? Feo27YT gave a follow. Thank you very much. Do you have any insight on this tactic? I think it's rook c3, but I'm still working through the details. Oh, I just noticed something important. Queen f2 is a bad move, because after rook c3, queen f2, there's rook g3, queen g3, and then knight e2. Double attack. So they would have to play either knight or bishop to d3 after rook c3. But then I could play maybe knight c2 and win an exchange. Let's say they played bishop to d3. I could also, yeah, I think probably just knight c2 is the best after that. Oh, they played it. The bad move. Alright. That was a pretty good one. My rating's almost 2,400 now. That's nice. Alright, this one's 2082. It looks like it's bishop b4. Is it just bishop b4, pawn takes b4, queen takes b4, queen d2, queen takes d2 mate. So, looks simple enough. Oh, it's already done. This one's 2134. It's probably rook takes a2. Rook takes a2, king takes a2, queen a4, king b1, queen b3, king a1, queen b2. That's me. They could also play bishop a3, but it changes nothing. Nothing. Alright, pawn takes e6. This one's rated 1922. It's probably rook takes e3, pawn takes e3, queen takes d7, rook c takes d7, bishop takes e6, and they can play king f8 or king h7 in that position. And after that, I would play Alright, so let's say they play king f8. I could play bishop takes d7, rook takes d7. And how do I stand in that position? I would have a bishop on b2 and a rook on c1 against a rook on d7 and a bishop on e7. So that's material equal. So I think I should delve a little bit deeper here. It's a 1900 tactic. It can't be that bad. Maybe it's rook takes e3, pawn takes e3, and then something like queen takes e3. The rationale is that I'm threatening bishop e6, which wins the queen. It could also be queen c3. Alright, so I'm pretty set on rook e3. I'm just not certain. The reason I'm not that certain after rook e3, pawn e3, queen c3 is they have queen d4. But queen takes e3 looks tempting. But after queen e3, they could play like even rook c6, because we sacked an exchange to reach this position. But they could also play, yeah, probably does rook c6. But after rook c6, I could play queen e5, threatening mate. I'm going to try rook e3. Alright, now this move is 22.99, so I just have to be careful. It has to be queen e3 though. Oh, it's not queen e3. Could it be queen c3? Now this move it says is 2377. It's probably a move like queen a5. That seems wildly unlikely though. Maybe it's queen c2, threatening queen g6. Okay, I didn't see that ahead of time, so I'm not that pleased. It's just luck that I saw a bunch of resources. I felt that it was intuitive to play rook e3. That's just luck. Okay, this one's 2608. It's crazy. 2600 chess puzzle. It's probably something with knight e5. The d6 pawn is hanging. That's not very encouraging. Their bishop on g4 is kind of hanging too. That's helpful. Alright, I'm going to need everyone's help to solve a 2600 level puzzle, I guess. If anyone has suggestions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I feel like it has something to do with the light square weakness of their king. I want my queen to get on A somehow. So rook b6 comes to mind. But I don't see a good follow-up. Queen a5 looks like another possible good starting move. But again, I'm not seeing it. Like queen a5, they could play queen takes d6. I guess the queen's not hanging, so I don't have to sack anything yet. But in that position, it could be... There could be some scrumptious move there. Because rook b6 is on the menu. I think the first move is queen a5. I'm pretty certain, because the queen can just hang out there and be annoying. And no other move looks that spectacular. I don't see any obvious problem with queen a5. I guess I should look and see if they can break this pin somehow. Like queen a5, and if they play king e8, then there's knight e5, that's winning. But queen a5, they could play queen b7. But after knight takes e5 in that position, they still can't play pawn takes a5 because of rook takes b7. Not the strongest move? Okay. Knight e5 first. No? Okay. Could it be knight d4? It's knight d4. And maybe now queen a5. Wait, it says the difficulty here is 1098. What the heck? The difficulty here is 998. So I got a 2600 puzzle correct and 1,000 puzzle wrong in the same moment. This one's 23.95. Could it be Queen E7? It seems unlikely. Queen G4 is the first move that comes to mind. But it could also be Queen A4. No, it's not Queen A4. I think it's Queen G4. No? Not the strongest? Jeez. Really? Just Queen takes D5? Okay, this puzzle is like almost inscrutable. Let me just look at this again. So the first move is knight d4. 2600 level move. They take, we take back. This is a 1000 level move. They take here, and queen takes g4, wins a bishop. But I think, wait, why is it telling me this is the main move? Because I played queen e4, it said this was correct, and then queen d5. Alright, I think I don't get it. Let's go on. This one looks like it's just rook g3, king h1, and then rook h8. Not hard. $23.98. This puzzle I've definitely seen. And I think I've gotten it wrong even. I think it was knight e8 followed by knight f6. Something like that. But it could have been knight f5 followed by something different. I think it's knight e8. Seriously? Okay. Oh, I think there was one preparatory move. It was like rook f7 or something like that. Okay, I'm annoyed because I just wasted a lot of resources. Knight h5 maybe? Just to get on f6 as quickly as possible. I forgot that they're about to promote. Probably that's an important detail that I just missed. Got distracted by the fact that I've seen this before, so that was bad. Feeling of familiarity shouldn't cause me to lose so easily. Yeah, I think I was thinking of a different puzzle or something. Okay, this one could involve the fact that the rook is hanging on c8. Could also just be rook b6, like an interference. They take, I take back, I win. Alright, I'm getting a little too comfy with these tactics. I think I can just take that rook. But there's also queen a7, rook a7, rook a7, king b8, knight a6, king c8, rook c7. I think that's probably most precise. No? Okay. There's also b7. I didn't consider that. That's already a problem. So b7, rook b7. Okay, I think this one is knight b5, rook b7, and then rook d6. And this one, I think it's bishop c3. Okay, that wasn't the best. No, that was not either. Oh, it's just bishop e1. Even stronger. Okay, so I wasn't searching for ideas well enough, so I need to resume that. I want to go over 2400 tonight before I go back to sleep. Okay, what could this be? Could be a deflection, like knight e5, queen e5, and then queen c5, something or other. But in this position, they would just play knight c5. Could also be rook f7, king f7, bishop g6. No, I don't think so. All the dark squares are well controlled. It could be bishop g6, just threatening rook f7. Because if they take, we play queen g6, threatening mate. I don't think they can easily meet this threat. Alright, something's got to give. It's probably rook h8, king e7, and queen g5 check. Shit. Alright, I'm like losing my touch here. Getting annoyed. Alright, I lost a lot of rating on that. Need to get back up. This looks like just a double attack. Is there anything wrong with that? Just rook b5. I guess he'll play knight c5. But then something's gonna be trapped. Rook b5, knight c5. You can always get two minor pieces for a rook. That's usually good. Maybe it's rook b6 instead of rook b5. There's probably a difference. Oh yeah, the difference is they can't play an in-between move here. So it was a 2100 level double attack. This one looks like it could be some kind of back rank mate. Like queen e8, king e8, rook a8, king d7, something like that. But in this, they could even... I don't know, probably it is something like that. But how do I prevent king d7? Maybe I don't prevent it. Maybe I allow it. King d7, rook d1. I don't know, it seems dodgy. I feel like playing queen e8, but it's just probably that I'm getting impatient because I'm tired. Do better than that. I don't want to give them a move to make a space for their king. Okay. I think it's rook d1, and after king e6, rook a6, and rook d1 after king c6, knight a5. Not the strongest. Really? Okay. Alright, it's rook a6 here. Alright, finally. Here, I think it's rook... Oh, I thought my king was a rook. Wow, I'm really losing my mind here. I was thinking rook h2. Probably it's just queen f3, though. Not a major issue. Black to move and win. Could be knight g4 threatening mate, and after rook h6, rook e1. And that was true. Okay, I got a lot of the points back. Okay, there's some tension here. Queen's guarding two pieces. As long as there's no check with this bishop, this is pretty much always going to be very strong. This one's probably rook f2 and then queen h1. Okay, simple. The rook on a7 looks vulnerable. The bishops look pretty scrumptious too. Let's see, knight c6. They could play like rook a6 and then knight b4. I don't know. I feel like I should trap this rook somehow. Or at least win it with a double attack. It's a 1800 level puzzle. I don't know how it's not jumping out at me. It could just be winning a pawn. Maybe it's just that simple. Okay, apparently it is. Chess is easy. Alright, so b3, pawn takes b3, queen b2, king d1, c2, king d2, c1, queen. That should be it. Not the best. Wait, this is a mate in one. It's very frustrating when you miss a checkmate in one. I'm trying this different way of thinking, where like I just calculate something to the ground, and when I see it's winning, I play it. Because that's what you do in a real game, but I think that I'm not doing well on the evaluation step. Here, knight c2 looks like it wins material. It does. Alright, queen b5. Those are some lovely tripled pawns they have. Probably it's something like knight e3. Because knight e3, rook takes d8, rook c1, king a2 looks very promising. But at the same time, nothing concrete. Maybe just knight c2 winning the game. I'm gonna try it. Okay, so they just gave it up. Okay, that was nice. This one should be rook c6, pawn c6, bishop a6. I'm surprised they're making me play it, because I think there are two winning moves here. Is there a difference? Bishop a6 versus queen a6? I think any move's winning here. I don't see a difference. Alright, close to the 2400 level. 2302. And it's black to play. They have a queen. This one should be rook e6, queen e6, d4 check, and then bishop takes. Wait. It's a white bishop. I can't do that. But it might still be rook e6, queen e6, d4, king e2, knight f4. Yeah, any move they make, it's a fork. Well, that was nice. What did they do? Did they take a pawn? Because they're like one move short of me. But white is winning. Somehow. No checks, but it's winning. I guess their queen could get trapped. But how do I not get checkmated here? That's the real question. Probably it's just rook f2. I'm up 2 minor pieces, so I could sack a rook. But I want to sack as little as possible. I think there's probably just nothing else to do. Alright, now I have king or queen takes f2. I think it's queen f2. And if I just trade queens, I should be winning. But queen g2 does not trade queens. They have rook g7. So it's probably bishop f1 and bishop g2 to defend. Seriously? But maybe it's queen h2, rook g7, and king h1. Okay. Probably it's bishop b3 or something here. Bishop b3, and then what? It could be knight c2 as well. Or rook b3. This puzzle is 2255. Where's the checkmate? Maybe it's bishop takes b3, a takes b3, knight takes b3, pawn takes b3, rook takes b3. And if they play king a2, it could be something there. Like rook takes c3, bishop takes c3, and then queen a4. But after bishop b3, they could play knight d4. So probably it's knight b3 first. Okay. Now the only thing I could do here is sack another piece. This has to be done. Oh, rook b3 is not the strongest? Shit. I should have seen. This puzzle is 2566. There's one preparatory move to play. It's probably queen e6. It's not queen e6. It could be queen f7. Okay, but go figure that this would be like a 2500 puzzle. Because it wasn't that clear from the beginning. Could be queen d7. We could easily guard d3 though. I wanted to do something like queen a4, but they can just play knight takes a4. And after rook takes b3, king a2, I have nothing. I'm so close to my rating goal. I'm at 2389. I just want to cross 2400 here. Maybe it's e4. Because if I play queen e6, queen takes e5, queen takes b3. No, that should lead to a mate. I don't see what the problem is. Maybe the secret is what's wrong with rook b3. Rook b3, king a2, rook c3, bishop c3, queen a4. At the end, they could play maybe queen takes e5, something like that. So I'm going to try e4 first. Maybe it's knight d5. Could it be queen g8? It'd be so random if that was the move. Just not necessary. Why is queen g8 different from any of the other ones? So I picked queen e6 and queen f7. Alright, let's see. I flipped on the engine. If I play queen e6, they play knight d4. Okay, but queen f7 was my other choice. Still knight d4? What the heck? If we take, they play knight d5. Okay. And if we take that, oh, the queen's hanging. Wow, so queen g8 really is necessary. Interesting. Probably if I had to make a decision like this in the future, I should just try to pick the safest place for the queen to attack. b3. There's no reason to entertain any other more speculative options. Okay. Close. I might be like 2 puzzles away from my goal. Okay, not really, because this is an 1800 puzzle, but let's solve it. It's probably knight h3, win an exchange. That's it. Okay, knight a4. This one's 2086. Probably it's knight d4. Intending to play knight takes c5, rook e2. But it's not all clear. For example, knight d4, c3, rook e2, king f1. So what? I feel like black is at risk of getting passive because if you play like c4, knight c5, rook f4, not rook f4, rook f6, there's knight d7, and if you play like rook g6 instead to avoid knight d7, then rook h5 is just driving back the black pieces. That's kind of annoying. Seems highly speculative. Okay, so what's good about this position? Black has, let me see, more pawns, and one of them is an outside pass pawn. So to win the game, trade all the pieces? I don't know. Knight d6, knight takes c5, knight e4 check. Looks like it should be winning. After knight takes e4, pawn takes e4, but not like a clear win. Maybe it's just rook e4. Like rook e4, knight takes c5, rook takes f4, king like e2 or something, and then knight d4, or king g2 and something similar. Probably it's this. Okay, that was easy, I guess. Easier than I thought it was. Okay, I'm at 2393. This puzzle's 2245. That knight is hanging. I wonder if there's anything useful with bishop g4, queen g4. I could play bishop e5, threatening mate, because it's pinned. Okay, and I'm over 2400. My new rating is 2405. Okay, probably this is a good spot to wrap up. That was a pretty good tactics run. So if you guys like that, feel free to join the Discord. I'm just gonna share my Discord and YouTube channel with you guys. I really like to see anyone who was watching today join our community. We share a lot of tactics, puzzles, and other cool stuff in our Discord, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. And I'm trying to start making a little bit of money from this at some point, so if you follow on YouTube, that'll be very helpful. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time. Maybe we should raid somebody. So let's see, who do we raid? I'm just searching for a raiding target. My followed channels are all offline. Let's see. Who is on who plays chess? Um, I don't see any channels that are online that I want to host. Maybe we could host Gotham Chess. So prepare for the raid. All right, we're about to raid. Thanks for coming, guys.